For growth and has been working with the community to form its GVL2040 comprehensive plan. A preliminary draft is now complete, and 7 News reporter Ann Maxwell shows us its vision for the city's future.
This draft of the comprehensive plan was unveiled just a few weeks ago. It shows people want Greenville to maintain its unique character, and there's a big emphasis on having several small urban cores like this in the area of West Greenville. After nearly 2 years of input and analysis, the city of Greenville has unveiled a draft for its comprehensive plan, GVL2040.
It's basically a guidebook for city leadership to look at over the next 20 years and say, how do we want to grow?
Beth Brotherton with the city says thousands of people answered surveys about how they want to see Greenville develop over the next 2 decades. The draft plan details 3 main priorities: affordable housing, improving ways to get around without a car, and preserving green space. Greenville has about 2,700 acres of vacant land left, and most of it is zoned for development. The draft calls for preserving as much as 35% of that for parks or open space. Greenville native Carly Elise says Greenville's public spaces are part of what makes it different.
A lot of places are lacking that because they only think like of stores and restaurants.
The draft plan calls for higher density development to happen in specific areas, like Haywood Mall or the Greenville Convention Center. It calls for bringing in a mix of homes, restaurants, and businesses, like at River Place or the Village of West Greenville. But people want that kind of development to be on the modest side.
One of the things we did hear when it came to growth is that there is a preference toward height of buildings being in about the 4 to 6 story range.
People also say they don't want the city to lose the charm and character that makes it what it is now.
To be honest, I'd like for it to stay like this. I wouldn't like too many extremely tall buildings. I wouldn't mind if they had one section with just, big buildings, typical downtown feel, and then keep the quaintness of Greenville, downtown Greenville.
The comprehensive plan will be considered for adoption by City Council in early 2021. In Greenville, Ann Maxwell, 7 News.
And by the way, the draft plan also calls for making 10% of new housing development income restricted to provide more affordable housing.
A bond